Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hive podcast. Today we have episode 5 of Pokemon Emerald Seaglass, and it is unfortunately the last episode of the Seaglass series for now. You never know. We might have a little something special in the works with someone very special. Let me just say that he's going to ask, "How's this going on, guys?" Do you know what I mean? So to my left, I've got Spooks.
Yo, wagwan, me people.
And to the right of me, I've got Rashi.
Hello, hello.
And to the far right, I've got Big Mac.
What's happening, people?
So basically, let's get straight into it. This episode is going to be purely the Elite Four and Champion, with something a little bit about Victory Road before. But we've got a lot of gameplay to cover today. Some have got more gameplay than others. But obviously you guys are gonna see that as we get into things. But let's kick straight in with the spin wheels. So this time my spin wheel was the boys got to pick a member of my team to be swapped off. So I was thinking, what are these boys going to do here? And it's safe to say I got done dirty because Spooks took Electivire away from me, which I replaced with Magnezone. And then Rashi took away Volbeat. No, it wasn't Volbeat, was it?
Yeah, it was.
Volbeat. Rashi took Volbeat away, which I replaced with Ampharos. And Mac took Manectric away, so my terrain setup was gone. And I actually replaced Manectric with something very special. But I'm going to wait until we get into the gameplay to show you guys what I used for my last battles. So, Spooks, how you getting on? What spin wheel did you get, cuz?
I got team switch, so Oscar had to. Sorry, Ace. We've been working together all day, and do you know what I mean? That's what I've been calling him all day, and we literally just to break the fourth wall. With it, just to break the fourth wall, we've been doing my garden, and obviously I've been calling him by his actual government name, then his street name. So. I got team switch. Obviously, Ace was talking about 3 Pokemon. I had 6 Pokemon get switched out. And obviously, you know me, I'm quite comfortable with my team. So going into that, I have Dumbo is back on the team, rolling out with them big old elephant ears and then tusks of his. We have Cat Slater, the Wishcash, is on the team. We have a Big Back, the camera up, is on the team. Some controversy around this Pokemon because it is a Rhyperior. And like I said to the boys in the group chat, to break that fourth wall again, I said, like, technically, Rhyperior wasn't on the team last episode. I've evolved him, and he's a Rhyperior, is a different Pokemon. So, Don Horny has evolved. He's got 2 horns now, so double horny. He's feeling it. We have Roly, the Golem, on the team. He's on the team. And obviously we have a return of Don Morbius, who is the Gliscor now, I believe. So, that is the spin wheel for me. Rushy, what did you get for your one again?
Yeah, so I had a returning spin wheel of no stab moves, which earlier on in the series wasn't too much of a problem. However, the less said, the better. When Ace was referring to the time in which our gym battles took, you will see later on who takes the king or the king spot for the time taken to beat a trainer during this series. But yeah, the less said, the better. No stab moves. I'll move on to Mac. Mac, what did you get for your spin wheel?
So not too bad for me, to be fair. I was non-damaging first move, so to be honest, not too bad. That was a lot of hypnosis spamming, as you'll see, getting into the gameplay. And one thing I did just want to explain before we get further on, because you might see on the difficulties of the spin wheel here, Ace only lost 3 members, and it was down as a brutal one, whereas Spooks had to swap his whole team, and it was down as a medium. Basically, it just was unlucky that this fell on the last episode, because Ace wouldn't have been able to add them 3 back to his team point blank at all for the whole thing.
Oh.
Whereas Spooks at the next episode could have had his team back. So it would have just been, if he got that on episode 2, Gyms 3 and 4 he'd had to use a different team, 5 and 6 is back, whereas Ace, them 3 team members gone. You'd have never got them back, basically.
That'd have been rough.
Yeah, not ideal for you, that, but clutch time to get it, so But Rushy, do you want to take us through Victory Road?
Yeah, so obviously we ended the last episode after beating Gym 8. And yeah, it's not too far to go. Well, I say not too far to go. We have to get through Victory Road in order to reach the Elite Four and the champion, as you do in most Pokemon games. Yeah, there's not much to say about Victory Road, really. It's quite a basic sort of Victory Road. You work your way through the caves, and you have to use all the different HMs you've learned throughout, strength, rock smash, dive, surf, waterfall. And once you've passed through Victory Road, you are greeted at the end with the Elite Four. So I think, without further ado, I think it's probably time we get into the final stretch of Emerald Seaglasses. So Spooks, do you want to start your journey with the Elite Four for us now?
Yeah, I will start this long journey with the Elite Four. Obviously, I took the long way round with the Elite Four, and there is a little. I will warn you now, as a warning, discrepancy, whatever you want to call it. There will be a close to 8-minute battle, just to let you all know. Just so you have time, pause the video. Make sure you like and subscribe at that time, because you will have enough time to do all that without missing anything. So like and subscribe, and get yourself a drink and some popcorn, because you might finish it before I finish my battle. So anyway, leading into the first Elite Four, Sydney, I believe, yeah? Don Sid. So let's lead in with Don Sid. And he brings out the Mighty Enna. We come up with Don Dumbo. And guess what? We forgot to heal up at the Pokemon Center here. So we're already on half health. So we take that out. I think it was with a Earthquake. They come out with a Cactoon. We're humming and hawing who to go. We go with Big Back. And now we want to see what that Big Back does. We want to see him shake it about on the dance floor. He goes for the Earth Power. Not really effective. Then we go for the Eruption, just spitting out, just throwing that back at everywhere. It takes the Cactoon down. So the back has dominated the Cactoon. It's coming out with the Crawdon, and this is one of my favourite Pokemon, by the way, Crawdon. I absolutely love it. First water and dark type that I came across. So yeah, I just loved it. So we go in with Don Morbius. We use Flying Press. Now let me tell you about Flying Press. It hits like a flying type move and a fighting type move at the same time, and it is just another move that I've came across and I've learned to love. So yeah, we bring out Cat Slater. They bring out Spooks Crow. Gutted that I had to do this to my boy, but we had to slap that with a little bit of Ice Beam. It uses a full restore. Cat Slater uses an Ice Beam again. Goes for a full restore. Cat Slater uses Ice Beam again. We get it down. Spooks Crow goes for the double team again. We hit it with the Ice Beam, and Spooks Crow is down. I'm absolutely gutted about that, but we've just got to get through this. Now, my favourite Pokemon is now coming out. Absol, the guy, the GOAT. It uses Slash against Don Dumbo. We use Play Rough, and we take it out in one move. And that is Elite Four Sydney done for me. Ace, how did things go for you?
Yeah, so pretty smoothly on this first battle. So we'll get into my footage now. I've got a team run through here. My team will not change from here on out. So we've got Lantern. Here's the Magnezone that we put in because of my spin wheel. There's Porygon Z, my boy. Absolutely love Porygon Z. Ampharos there with a pretty cool move set. We've got Jolteon, and there it is. Shiny Pikachu with a light ball is coming with Ace to the champion. I said it was going to happen, and it has happened. So here we go. Let's get into Sydney. Pause. So he leads with a Mighty Enna, and I'm coming out with Lantern. I'm going to hit that yawn because you watch this battle, guys. You watch this battle. So Mighty Enna hits a crunch, and I'm going to go for that Tail Glow. +3 special attack here. Mighty Enna's now asleep. Hit another Tail Glow, so we are at +6 special attack. And then we just go for that Surf. Mighty Enna's down. Pikachu's leveling up there. Out comes the Cacturn. What are we going to do? It's going to resist. No, it's not. It's going to hit one-shot Cacturn. Here comes the Spooks Crow. Shout out to Pokemon Lazarus. Surf again. First I hit a Surf, then hit another Surf. Do you know what I mean? That's how it's going to be. Absol comes out. Shout out Spooks. Hits a Slash with a crit. There goes the Surf, baby. It goes down. And finally we have Crawdon come out. And we're going to hit one more Surf. And that is Sydney down with Lantern only. Rushy, How did you get on, brother?
Yeah, so we'll put my footage up now. So yeah, Mightyena, Sydney leads with Mightyena. I lead with Tentacruel. I hit a Hex, and the Mightyena hits a Crunch, does about half damage to my Tentacruel. I go for a Supersonic, but it misses, and the Tentacruel does go down to another Crunch by the Mightyena. So I bring in Nidoqueen here. I go for a Superpower, which does take out the Mightyena, which is very nice. So obviously, got a few Pokemon leveling up here. They're trying to learn some moves. Sydney then comes out with with a Honchkrow. I come out with my Arbok. I hit an Ice Fang on the Honchkrow. The Honchkrow uses Double Team. I hit another Ice Fang to take out the Honchkrow with my Arbok there. So that was that done and dusted. My Pokemon are trying to learn some more moves, which I think I do. Yeah, no, I don't learn any move there. It's yeah. There we go. Right, so Crawdont is up next. My Arbok is still in. I go for a Mud Bomb. The Crawdont uses a Sword Stance. I hit an Ice Fang on the Crawdont. He uses another Sword Stance. I go for another Mud Bomb. Another Sword Stance from the Crawdont. I go for one more Mud Bomb. The Crawdont then uses Strength and does take out the Arbok. So I come in with my Jumpluff. I go for a U-turn, but a full restore on the Crawdont. But the U-turn is super effective, obviously, against the Crawdont. I come in with my Crobat. I go for a Leech Life on the Crobat, which does a lot of damage to the Crawdont. Another Strength puts my Crobat on 3 HP, but a Leech Life takes the Crawdont out. Absol is in next. I switch out into my Gengar. So Gengar goes for a Hypnosis. It misses. The Absol hits a Sword Stance. I go for another Hypnosis. It does hit. The Absol does fall asleep. I go for a Dream Eater, which doesn't affect Absol. So I go for a Sucker Punch, which fails. The Absol wakes up, uses another Sword Stance. I go for a Sucker Punch, but the Absol hits a Rock Slide on the Gengar, and the Gengar does go down. Nidoqueen I bring in instead. Aerial Ace on the Nidoqueen, but the Rocky Helmet does some damage to the Absol. I go for a Body Slam, but the Absol uses a Berry to get some health back. I go for another Body Slam, and the Absol is paralyzed. I go for a Double Kick in the end to finish things off, and then the Cacturn is in next. I go for a Double Kick on the Nidoqueen, which takes the Cacturn to about half health. The Cacturn uses a Leech Seed, but I just keep going for those double kicks. And the Feint Attack then comes in on the Nidoqueen to take him out, but the Rocky Helmet does finish off the Cacturn, and that is Sydney gone. So, Mac, how did you get on?
Bash.
Yeah, not too bad with this one. So I led with Gallade against the Mightyena. Hit a quick bulk up as my non-damaging move there. Get hit with a Crunch, and then Sky Uppercut, super effective, one shot. That one's gone. They swap into the Honchkrow, and I believe, who do I swap into here? The Executor. And I'm just going to have to go for Hypnosis here, as that's my only non-damaging first move, which luckily hits first time, which you will see doesn't happen a lot for me moving forward from here. Mystical Fire gets it down to about half health. Honchkrow still fast asleep. One more Mystical Fire takes him out. All my Pokemon are leveling up here. In comes the Cacturn. I stay, so I've got that Fire type advantage on it. Hypnosis miss. From them, Feint Attack hits onto me. Hypnosis is asleep now. Mystical Fire one shots the Cacturn, and he is dismissed. Coming in next is the Absol, and I do change out for this one and bring in Gallade again. I'm going to hit a bulk up first move, and I believe I then get hit with an Aerial Ace, which gets me absolutely one shot. So I'm like, I'm just going to get this done, use that close combat. That one hits Absol, and he is out of the way. Moving into the final Pokemon, which is the Crawdont, I bring in Gardevoir. hit it with a hypnosis, misses. They use sword dance, another hypnosis which hits this time. Shockwave one-shots it, and that is Sydney out of the way pretty easily for me there. So, Spooks, do you want to take us into the second fight?
Yeah, I just want to say before the second fight, it's nice to hear that. Obviously, being Easter and everything, Jesus coming back, and I think a fitting name for your executor should have been Jesus, as he died last episode, and he's came back to life
He
on this
passed away.
episode. He passed away. Do you know what I mean? Don didn't faint, innit? Don passed away.
He passed away.
So Jesus, the executor, is back with us, and we must pay homage to the Lord and Savior with the three heads himself. For the pause. Going into Don Phoebe. We will go into that right now, and I ain't pausing at all. We're gonna press play. So, we can't press play because I've just slammed me mouse, and it's gone off her. So we've gone off Phoebe. So we're gonna let me just rewind that. So going into Don Phoebe, she goes out with the dust clots. We go out with Horny. So we're picking and choosing. We use Earthquake on the dust clots. It hits us with a Confuse Ray. We are confused. It uses Protect. We go for the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt obviously doesn't do anything. We get hurt by the Confuse Ray. It uses Shadow Punch on us. We snapped out of another Thunderbolt. Gets it to a little bit of HP, so I don't know how that happened. Slap it with another Thunderbolt. Dustclops is down. And now, obviously, you can see that we're doing. Don Dumbo's just gone up another level. Love that. Duskanaut is coming out. So who do we pick? Who do we decide? We go for the guy with the ears and the tusks, which is Dumbo. So Dumbo is going to use Play Rough on the Duskanaut. Duskanaut has Ice Beam, by the way, and I do believe, if I can remember, it does have Earthquake as well, which is a bit mad. So it slaps us with another Ice Beam, obviously super effective, but our defense is rising because of Dumbo's ability. Uses a Citrus Berry, Duskanaut, hits us with another Ice Beam. We go for the Play Rough, hits us with another Ice Beam, and Dumbo's down because there's no point of healing him up when he was only on 20 HP. Big Back comes out. Big Back uses Rock Slide. We go for the Eruption. It hits us with the Earthquake. So this is where I found out it had Earthquake, the Duskanaut. Hit it with another Eruption. We're going for the Eruption again. Goes for the Earthquake. Go for the Eruption. Is it going to hit? Is it going to not? Doesn't really do much here. Slaps us with an Ice Beam. Big Back is down. The back has gone down. We've sat down. Cat Slater is on her way out. And it is a she, by the way. Cat Slater uses that muddy water. And, as any Cat Slater would do, which takes it out. Miss Magius uses the Moonblast. We're slapping Miss Magius with that muddy water. Uses Moonblast on us again. Muddy water again. We're getting it on 1 HP. Surely. Slapped us with the Moonblast, goes down. I should have healed up there. But guess what? Twin Horn Horny is coming out. And Twin Horn Horny gets slapped with the Shadow Ball. We use Thunderbolt. Take out Miss Magius. And we're all leveling up here. Comes out with the Frostlass. Now, this is the Pokemon what I didn't realise that Phoebe would have. So I was a bit shook being a ground type. So what do? We try and go for that Stone Edge. Takes us out with that Ice Beam. Now we're going to Don Morbius. Morbius is coming out. We're humming and hawing what to do. I'm just sitting still at the moment. But we go for that Sludge Bomb. Takes us all the way down to 6 HP with Ice Beam. Slaps us again with Ice Beam. And I don't know why. I'm just not holding up. So my last Pokemon is Don Roly. So this is the first time we're seeing Don Roly in action. We're wondering what to do. We go for that Stone Edge and Roly. It misses. It slaps us with a Will-O-Wisp. We use Stone Edge, takes out the Frostlass, and they have one more Pokemon, which is the Bayonet. Obviously, we're burned at the moment. We hit it with another Stone Edge. Use a Shadow Ball. We kind of tank all these Shadow Balls. We're still burned. I go for the Double Edge and I use a Shadow Ball, but it doesn't actually affect it. I think I got a bit trigger happy here. So what do? We go down to our big old bag that's like the TARDIS because it's bigger on the inside with all the items we've got in it. So we use a full restore on Roly. We go in for another Stone Edge, which I should have used before Double Edge because I was stupid. And Don Phoebe is out. I'm sorry for the longness, but the next battle is going to be longer. Ace, how do you get on?
Okay, so let's get into my battle with Phoebe now. So obviously the ghost type Elite Four member. Let's see what she has to do. So Dustclop leads, and I'm going in with the lantern. Here's that strat again, just a yawn. Dustclops hits him with the confuse ray, which can become a bit of an issue, but I get the first tail glow off, and Dustclops also then hits me with a curse. So I'm starting to think, and I'm thinking to myself, right, Lantern is not going to last that long. So let's do what we can with it. Sums up something else in my life, really. But yeah, let's hit another surf on the Dustnor. The Dustnor tanks it. Obviously, great special defense. There's that earthquake that Speaks was talking about. So what are we going to do now? What we're going to do is we're going to switch into Pikachu, and we're just gonna look at this Dustnor in the eye, and we're just going to hit it with that nuzzle. Just give it that little rub into it and paralyze it straight away. But there's that earthquake, and there goes Pikachu. So clearly, maybe the first battle against Sydney has given me some false sense of security. Ampharos comes out here and hits a discharge straight away. And yeah, down goes to Dustnor. So finally, that's gone. Out comes Miss Magius, which I'm sure has been buffed in this game because I was watching the last episode and my Pokemon weren't doing too much damage to it. But anyway, so we hit the Paralyze on it and then just go straight in with a Discharge. Follows back with a Moonblast, but one more Discharge is going to take it out. Next comes Banette, which is a Ghost Normal type in this game, which is really cool. And I didn't realise I hit it with a Thunder Wave and then it hit a Facade on me. So I'm thinking, if it gets a Facade off, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. But the Paralyze does stick there, and 2 discharges from Ampharos takes it out. So Ampharos is putting in a good bit of work here. Out comes the Frostlass, hits an Ice Beam, and Ampharos lives on 1 HP. But we Thunder Wave the Frostlass, so then its speed is cut in half, so we're going to go for that discharge. But Frostlass is going to take us out with the Infernal Parade, which, if you don't know, is Hisui and Typhlosion's signature move. And then Porygon Z comes out, but all we've actually got to use to hit it with on Porygon Z is Ice Beam. But 2 Ice Beams takes out the Frostlass, and that is Phoebe down. Rushy, how did you get on?
Yeah, not as well as that. Let me put the footage up on the screen now. So Phoebe comes in with Dusclops. I start with my Tentacruel. I go for a Hex, which does a decent amount of damage. The Dusclops hits a Confuse Ray, so my Tentacruel is confused. I go for a Supersonic, but the Dusclops protects itself. I go for another Supersonic, and a Dusclops uses Curse. So the Dusclops is obviously nearly dead, but that does mean my Tentacruel is cursed. I go for a Hex, and that does take out the Dusclops there. So that's the Dusclops dealt with. Dusknar is in next. So obviously my Tentacruel is cursed. I go for a Supersonic to confuse the Dusknar, which it does get confused, and it hurts itself with the confusion. The curse is just ticking away at my Tentacruel's health. And the Dusknoir does use a Earthquake there and takes out my Tentacruel. So I go in with Gengar. I hit a Sucker Punch, which does some nice damage, but the berry does restore some health on the Dusknoir. I go then for a Dark Pulse, which basically finishes off the Dusknoir, but the Rage and Fury hits twice, takes my Gengar down to 16 HP, but I do take the Dusknoir out there with a punch. And then, so the Jumpluff, I bring Jumpluff in next. The Frostlass comes out. I go into my bag here, and I'm going to just Hyper Potion up on my Gengar to get some more HP back. The Frostlass hits an Ice Beam, which does obviously take out my Jumpluff in one hit. So I come back in with Gengar, and I hit a Hypnosis. The Will-O-Wisp does go onto my Gengar, though, so obviously that does decrease my attack damage. I then go for a Sucker Punch with the Frostlass asleep. It doesn't do too much damage. So I go for a Dark Pulse here as well, which does take out the Frostlass, which was nice. So Miss Magius is in next. The Gengar is slowly taking damage from the burn. I go for a Hypnosis, and the Miss Magius does fall asleep. I then go for a Dark Pulse on the Miss Magius, which does a decent amount of damage, but not too much. The Gengar is still ticking away with the burn damage. Luckily, the Miss Magius is asleep, so the Dark Pulses do take Miss Magius out there. Banette is in next, the last Pokemon in for them. I do go for a Hypnosis, but the Banette doesn't affect the Banette. So I go for a Dark Pulse, which takes the Banette down to 1 HP, but they do hit a Psychic. So I'm thinking, what can I do to quickly finish this off? So I take in my Arbok, I go for an Ice Fang, but the full restore on the Bannet takes it back up to full health. So I just hit another Ice Fang, which does freeze the Bannet, who then goes for a Facade. I hit another Ice Fang, they hit another Facade, and another full restore comes in on the Bannet. So I'm hitting another Ice Crunch there, but it doesn't do too much. So I'm thinking, what can I do? So I go in and I revive my Gengar and bring it back up. The Thunderbolt comes in from the Bannet, takes out my Arbok. So I put in the Gengar again. I go for a Dark Pulse on the Bannet, which does finish it off. And yeah, so that is my Elite Four Phoebe done. Matt, how did you get on?
Yeah, not too bad. Coming into this one, I didn't think it was going to be too easy, obviously, with the Psychic type mono run here and these guys being all sort of Ghost Dark types. Thought it was going to be a bit more of an uphill battle than it was. Will admit I did forget to record the fight with the first Pokemon on this one, which was the Dusclops, and I can tell you exactly what I used for that. It was Xatu, used Reflect, and then hit it with 2 Nightshades, and that got rid of it, which you won't see in the recording, but that is how it went. The next Pokemon in was Miss Magius, to which I switch out to Metagross for this, hit an Iron Defense, hit it with a Metal Claw, which one hits that and gets rid of it. Then comes in the Banette, and I swap back to Xatu, use a Reflect, get hit with a Shadow Ball, which still does a good chunk of my health. Hit it with a Night Daze, which one-shots the Banette. They're then switching to Frostlass, which is the main thing that caused me a bit of issue here, really. I swap into to Jesus, as he's been renamed, and get hit with the Will-O-Wisp, obviously on that dual grass type. Slightly annoying because the burn damage is hurting more than normal there. My Hypnosis misses. I get hit with Shadow Ball, which is super effective. Second time round, the Hypnosis does land. Hit it with Mystical Fire, which gets it down to about 10 HP. Still asleep. I hit it with another Mystical Fire, which luckily does finish it off. Then the Dusknoir comes in. Xatu is back again, really sort of carrying me through this fight. I go in with a Reflect, get hit with an Ice Beam, which gets me super, super weak. Come in with a Night Daze, which gets it down to about 40% health. It has a Citrus Berry, and the Ice Beam finishes me off. So then in comes Starmie here, uses a Cosmic Power. Dusknoir hits me with an Earthquake. I hit it with Thunder, which missed. Hit it with another Thunder, which missed. And they just keep hitting me with Earthquakes. Go for a Bubble Beam just to land a hit, which gets it down a little bit. One more Earthquake, one more Bubble Beam. Super weak now. One more Earthquake from them, one more Bubble Beam from me, and that is the second of the Elite Four done.
Bosh.
So back over to Spooks for fight number 3. Is this a grueler?
This is where I said, make sure you like and subscribe. If you all do need to go to the toilet now, it would be worth doing. You're not really going to miss much because it is near enough 7 minutes and 42 seconds long. So go get your drinks, go get your popcorn, say hello to your mum and dad if they're downstairs, or your nan and granddad, or whatever. Anyway, going to Glacier, I believe her name is. Obviously, having my ground type, she caused me a bit of problem. Going in with the Dugong, we go in with Don Rowley. We try and set up that sunny day, but it slaps us with the hail first. So we're trying to set up that sunny day. So then it goes with the hail. Rowley uses Earthquake, takes it to half HP, uses Surf. Obviously, we're down, even though that Rowley's got Sturdy, and I don't know what happened there. Cat Slater comes in. With Cat Slater, we use Muddy Water, go to the Earthquake. Actually, instead, we end up getting frozen solid. And I've got to be honest with the boys, like, this is the 4th time I was doing this Elite Four right there, and my 4th restart. So, yeah, we're frozen at the moment. We're just tanking hits. And it's getting to the bit of the one where I have no effort to even comment over this, but I'm going to do it just for you lot, because just watching it again is really, peed me off. So, but we won't swear. We'll say the word P. Nothing's really happening right now. We've just came back from being frozen. Dugong slapping us with that Ice Beam. We're using Earthquake, and guess what? Our first Pokemon's down. So then she comes in with the wall run. And hail is pelting down. One ice beam, we get down to 51, and we use the earthquake. Doesn't really do much. Earthquake is probably our strongest move that we could use against them. So we go for the full restore again. Ice beam, pelted by the hail, earthquake, and you're going to see this a lot. But you're going to see this so much through here. Apart from the Wolverine just using a citrus berry. Guess what? It's hitting me with that ice beam again. Cat Slater is down. We send out Don Horny with the 2 horns. Doesn't really do much. We go for the hammer arm, but the surf hits us, takes us down. Then we go in for Don Morbius. What can he do? We try and outspeed it and go for the drill run because it'll probably be a little bit better. Doesn't do much. Ice Beam takes us down. So we're still stuck on the water in here. And a big back shaking her back goes down to a surf. So guess what? We've only got Don Dumbo left now. And we go for the earthquake, hits us with the ice beam, and we use an earthquake, takes down the Warren, and we're on our last Pokemon. She's still got 4 left. So what we're going to do here, she sends out the Cloyster, and guess what? You can see me absolutely fuming without actually seeing my face while playing this game because I am scrambling around the bag hunting for revives. It is going to be one of those battles, ladies and gentlemen. Revive and full restores. I'm glad that I stocked up on a bit of bread right here. Uses the Hydro Pump. Dumbo goes down, but we revive Cat Slater because we knew that cat could do some business. You never want to start with a Slater. So we go in with Earthquake, I do believe. It uses Icicle Crash. We flinch, and man, I wish I had Don Manny on the team because I did like that move on Don Manny itself. And me basically talking about stuff here, right, is just trying to spice up this battle right now. I can't lie, because if not, you would have all turned off the podcast by now. Hydro Pump again, Cat Slater, we healed up, obviously. It used Hail, the Cloister, we're using Earthquake. Hail keeps falling. Hail's pelting down, and guess what? We're not even halfway through the video yet, ladies and gentlemen. Icicle Crash. Again, Hail, Hydro Pumps, Earthquakes, there's mud, there's earth, there's water, there's hail. It is like living in Britain. So yeah, it's just everything right now. Do you know what I mean? Us boys in real life, we're used to this weather, but Cat Slater isn't. And my poor ground types aren't as well. And guess what? Cloister just got that full restore as well. Hail is pelting again. Hydro Pump. How many bloody Hydro Pumps has this Cloister got? I'm pretty sure there's only 5 on the PP from when I remember. When I remember it. So we have to full restore again. And man, I'd just like to say we've got over the halfway mark. And not much is really going on. So yay, round of applause. And this is where hopefully next episode we have a stream deck and we can have a cheering button on the stream deck. And we go for the full restore again, close to hail. Yeah, it's getting pretty boring. Earthquake, Icicle Crash. Do you know what I mean? Close is going to be using Struggle in a minute because of how much full restores I've got. And hail again, full restore. Man, I might have to put this in 5 times speed and just for the episode right now. And Icicle Crash, Earthquake, hail stopped. The hail comes back. The earthquake. Oh my god! Guess what? Cloister's down, everybody. And then the Glaceon comes out, and this is where I start getting my ass. When I say ass, I mean a donkey. This is where I start getting my donkey chewed, isn't it? So we have a full restore right now. Guess what? The Glaceon knows Blizzard, which we was honestly our health was 213, slaps us down to 63. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm just going to have to tank this Blizzard with a couple of fully restories. So, yeah, so I'll just let this play out. Blizzard, hail, full restore. Guess what? Blizzard, hail, full restore. Yeah, Ace is falling asleep over there, and I don't blame him, innit? Do you know what I mean? Boys, like I said last episode, with how long my gym battle was, go order that boss box and tuck in, innit? Just tuck in and pause. And but there's one thing I'd like to do is pause this bloody game right now because we are still going. By the way, I'll let you know when we're done, ladies and gentlemen. We're on a revive right now. Only thing that's different and changed, We are reviving. It uses chilly water, so we must have dried out all the blizzards, isn't it? So it's going for the chilly water right now. Full restore. Full restore on Big Back. Blizzard hits us again, and I thought we'd done it. But Big Back is up next. Quarter of the video left, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise. Hail, hail, hail. Chilling water. We go for the eruption because it's just pure ice. Oh, I still can't even do anything. Hail has stopped. We go for, guess what? That full restore. You know, I bought 33 before we started this Elite Four. Chilling water. Big Back uses eruption. It's erupting that back on the Glaceon, isn't it? And guess what? Glaceon's down. Now we come to the Glalie. Glalie's just that head, isn't it? That icy head. And we don't. And it's just staring
That
at me
top,
going,
innit? That top.
Glalie is just that top, innit? Shout out Legless Tony. And basically, we use the eruption. And Glalie goes down. Well, I should say Headless Tony, innit? So Glalie goes down. Well, it's coming down. We use the full restore, sorry. Ice Beam. This is what I mean. I can't even remember, and I'm watching the video. Think I might still have that low IQ spin wheel from last time because I'm getting bored of this clip. Guess what? Glalie's in the red. Big Back. Can't use eruption anymore. We go for the Rocky Slidey, and the Rocky Slidey takes Glalie out. And that's Glacier done, boys. Ace, just move on. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from anyone. I don't want to hear it. I knew that was coming. As soon as I said Stream Deck, I knew it'd be putting something up, innit?
That's that honk shoe, innit?
Oh my god. My jaw is hurting just from bloody talking about that bloody thing. Oh my god. I'm glad it's the daytime.
Alright, right. Let's get into my Glacier footage now. Jesus Christ. So let's see how we fare against Glacier. So they're going to lead with Dugong, and I'm leading with Lantern. Lantern hits that Yawn, and the Hail return by the Dugong. That's a joke's name, by the way. And then
Dugong.
with the Tail Glow and Lantern. Lantern gets hit by a Signal Beam, but the Gong is now asleep. So another Tail Glow, that's +6 on the special attack. And then I'm going to hit that Glitzy Glow, which is a new move. It doesn't do too much. Well, I think it's a new move. So basically it puts up light screen when you use it for a couple of turns, which is really cool. So 3 Glitzy Glows take out the Dugong. Out comes the Walrein here. And it's going to be another Glitzy Glow. It doesn't do a massive amount. Body slam by the Walrein, but another Glitzy Glow takes out the Walrein. Lantern is still putting some work here. Here's the Cloister, and we're going to hit that move again, and it's going to take the Cloister out. So 2 mons left for Glacier here. Out comes the Glaceon. Bit of damage on the Hail onto Lantern, and Glaceon's going to hit the Attract, and Lantern does get immobilized by the Love, but Glaceon goes for a Chilling Water to heal back up. It's going in for a Blizzard here, really low on HP, and we hit through the Love again. And then we're going to be coming out with... We've still got Lantern in against Glalie. Glalie's going to hit a Crunch, and then we're going to hit one Surf with Lantern. So I just want to say there that I used one Pokemon and beat it in 1 minute and 40 seconds in it. That is... And I'm also on hard mode, isn't it? So, anyway...
Spook could be as well, to be fair.
we don't know, innit? I don't think he knows. But speaking of people who do know, Rushy, do you want to very intelligently take us into your next battle, brother?
I will use my intellect to talk through this one, of course. So, Dugong is their lead, minus Tentacruel. I go in for a Confuse on the Dugong, and it does work. So the Dugong is confused. I then go for a Ring Out. Then the Dugong uses the Hail. I go for a Hex on the Dugong here with the Tentacruel. They hit an Ice Beam. I then go for a Supersonic. It does miss. An Ice Beam again on the Tentacruel. I go for a Screech, and then the Dugong goes for the Hail again. So I'm like, okay, I'm not doing much here. I'm going to switch out. So I bring in the Nidoqueen. it goes in with the Ice Beam. I go for a superpower with the Nidoqueen, which basically finishes off the Dugong here. They use Hail again, and I go for a double kick to finish off the Dugong. Yeah, so the Cloyster's in next. The Hail continues to fall. I go for the Cloyster goes for an Icicle Crash, which does take out the Nidoqueen there. So I bring in Arbok. The Hail obviously is continuing to fall. I go for a Mud Bomb. The Icicle Crash comes in on the Arbok, takes it down to about half health. I go for another Mud Bomb. A Hydro Pump on the Arbok does take Arbok out. So I bring in my Jump Bluff here. So Jump Bluff is in. I go for a U-turn, and then bring in my Tentacruel again. So Tentacruel is now in against the Cloyster. The Hail butts me again. I go for a Supersonic, but it does miss, and then the Tentacruel uses an Icicle Crash, which does take out the Tentacruel. I have Crobat in now, so I go for a Leech Life, which takes a little bit, but the Icicle Crash comes in and the Crobat nearly takes out the Crobat there. So I quickly go in for a Confuse Ray to try and get some confusion on the Cloyster, which it does go off. Another Icicle Crash does unfortunately take out Crobat. So I'm running low on Pokemon here, so I bring back in my Jump Bluff. I'm just thinking what I can do. I go for a Fairy Wind, which does a decent amount of damage. Another Icicle Crash takes out Jump Bluff here. So I'm down just to my Gengar. So Gengar comes in. I go for a Dark Pulse, but the full Restore is used on the Cloyster. The Dark Pulse does a lot of damage, so I hit another one of those. That does take out the Cloyster. Yeah, so it's not going too well for me here. The Glaceon is in next. I go for a Hypnosis, and it does put the Glaceon to sleep. And then a Dream Eater, which does a nice amount of damage. So I'm thinking, can I get another one off? And I do. Takes it down to just 1 HP, really. The Hail is continuing, but my Gengar's putting in some work here. Dark Pulse does finish off the Glaceon there. Walrein is in next. So I go for a Hypnosis again, which puts the Walrein to sleep. The Hail continues. I go for a Dream Eater on the Walrein, which does some nice damage. The Walrein is still asleep, so I go for another Dream Eater there to put my Gengar back up to full HP. The Walrein uses a Berry and then an Ice Beam, which does about half health. So I go for another Hypnosis, which puts the Walrein back to sleep. Another Dream Eater, and it basically takes the Walrein out there as it's hit a crit. So I go for a Dark Pulse just to finish it off. And then into the last Pokemon, so Glalie in. I go for a Hypnosis again, which puts the Glalie to sleep. It does obviously raise its special attack and defense. I go for a Dream Eater, and the Glalie stays asleep, thankfully. Another Dream Eater on the Glalie there, which puts it down to 1 HP, and it does stay asleep again, which is nice. And then I go for a Dark Pulse to finish off, but they do hit a crunch first, but the Dark Pulse goes through, takes out the Glalie, and that is my Elite Four Battle 3 done. So, Mac, how did you get on?
Yeah, better than Spooks, I think, which might not be saying a whole lot. So I lead into this one with Starmie and hit the Cosmic Power. They go for a Hail. I'm trying to force a Thunder here, and they're just hitting me with Signal Beams. And after that, missed the second time. I thought I've had enough of this, so I use an X accuracy here on Starmie. He then gets confused by the Signal Beam, and then I force through a Thunder, which surprisingly does way less damage than I thought it would, being super effective. So I use a Hyper Potion on the Starmie, hit another Thunder, which has got Dugong sort of getting quite weak now. One more Thunder, which does land thanks to that X accuracy. And next they're going to bring in the Walrein. So I bring in Executor / Jesus. Hit it with a Hypnosis, send it to sleep. Hit it with a Giga Drain, which nearly kills it. Eats a Citrus Berry, wakes up, hits me with an Ice Beam, and then a Bullet Seed there is going to be enough just to take him out. Then the Cloyster comes in, and I swap into Gallade, use a Bulk Up, use a close combat just to get him out of the way. That's a 1 hit and he is gone. Next up is Glaceon. So I swap out into Metagross for this, use an Iron Defense. They hit me with a Chilling Water. I come back at them with a Metal Claw, which gets it pretty weak. 1 more Metal Claw, and that is Glaceon gone. Then the last one is Glally, if that's how you say that. Wasn't really listening to everybody else pronounce that one.
Just call it top and up top.
To which I hit an Iron Defense. They hit me with a Crunch. Hit me with an Ice Beam, which isn't very effective. Hit them with a Metal Claw, 1 shot, and that is the 3rd of the Elite Four gone for me. So, Spooks, if you want to take us into the 4th one there, mate, I'll have a quick sort of 30 winks and I'll be back with you in an hour.
That's fair enough, bro. That's all right, bro. This one's not too bad, actually.
I think this is where Rushy's going to take the crown off you, mate. So you're chilling for now.
I think the champion one is where Rusty's going to take.
First, I had a crown, and Rushmore took the crown.
Yeah, we still got one more alright one. Then I will take that crown from you.
Yeah. So we're going to get into the 6th god himself, Drake, isn't it? So let's go into the footage for the 6th god himself is going to be up right now. So yeah, he starts with the Kingdra. We go with Don Rolly. Rolly is out, hits us with the Hydro Pump. We tank it with the Sturdy, so we're on 1 HP. We set up that Sunny Day. Try to go for the Stone Edge, but we know it's not going to work. Hits us with an Ice Beam. Guess what? We bring out Big Back. So Big Back is shaking her back with that Solar Beam. Beam. And we hit that like Ian does. And then we go for another Solar Beam. We go on 28 HP from Hydro Pump. Hits us with Dragon Pulse. It's on the red. Big Back goes down. Don Dumbo comes out. Sun has faded right now, so we go for the Play Rough. Play Rough gets all the way down to red, so I should have started with Don Dumbo to start out with. Hit it with another Play Rough. Kingdra is down. We are on 22 HP. Cat Slater's moved up. Salamence is going to be coming out. Salamence and is going to be coming out now. We're humming and hawing. We stay out with Don Dumbo, and I think that we are going to use, guess what? That little full restore, baby. The favourite thing that's in my bag right now, isn't it? I've got multiple of them, innit? Got that extra large bag of them, innit? So we heal up. It goes for the flamethrower. We're burned right now. Play Rough comes out. Doesn't really do much, even though it's super effective. Hits us with another flamethrower. Goes for the Play Rough, Citrus Berry, another full restore. So we get away the burn, obviously, as well. Defense keeps rising here. Hits us with a flamethrower. Defense rise again. Play Rough takes out the Salamence, and the 6th god wants to throw out the Altaria right now. So who do we going to go for? We're going to go for Don Morbius. Morbius hasn't really seen too much action. Look at that action. That action leads us to a Dragon Dance from the Altaria. We go for that Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb doesn't really do too much. But we go for another Sludge Bomb. Keeps using Dragon Dance. We go for another Sludge Bomb, so I'm just tanking the hits. It uses Aerolase, but Morbius has got Rocky Helmet on, so it actually takes out the little bit of HP that Altaria has. So the Altaria is down. We go in for Cat Slater, and we want to see what that Slater will do against that Flygon. So it uses Earthquake against us, not really too bad. We hit it with that Ice Beam, instantly take Flygon out. Steelix is up next, and we're going to stay out with Cat Slater. And we use the Earthquake against Steelix. That's 1 Earthquake. It uses Crunch against us, 1 Earthquake against the Steelix, and Steelix is down, and the 6th god has been defeated by the 3 time. So, Ace, how was the 6th god for you?
So, Jumpman. Let's see if these boys are up to anything. So we're going to go into my footage now against Drake here. This did take me a few attempts. This was a really difficult battle. So leading with the Kingdra is going to hit a Hydro Pump, and I'm going to hit a Dazzling Gleam with Ampharos. And you see me switch into the Lantern here because I am now predicting what's going on, because I fought it a few times. So I tried to sort of get a good way around it. So we're going to hit a Tail Glow there. Yawn has already been done on the Steelix. It goes to sleep. So we're going to hit one more Tail Glow. And Steelix still being asleep, we are going to go for the Surf, and that is going to one-shot the Steelix. One Tail Glow was probably enough, but at this point I was still trying to come up with a strategy. So Kingdra is coming back in here, and we're going to go back in with Ampharos. The Kingdra is going to hit a Dragon Pulse and do a lot of damage with a crit, but that Dazzling Gleam on Ampharos is going to take it out. Here comes the Salamence, which really caused me some issues in my previous attempts. It has Moxie on my version of the game, so it's going to go for a Dragon Claw, but that quad effective Ice Beam by the Porygon Z is going to take it out there. So the next mon we're going to be sending out is Lantern, and Flygon comes out here. We're going to hit a Yawn, but not before the Flygon hits us with a massive Earthquake. So I'm going to protect, so the Flygon is asleep and we are still on 48 health. I'm going to hit a Tail Glow with the Lantern, and I didn't know what to do. Should I Surf? Should I go for another Tail Glow? I go for a Surf and it lives on 1 HP, and I'm debating whether to Surf or Protect here, but I'm going to go for it. We go for the Surf, and the Flygon has been taken out. Next is going to be Drake is sending in, I believe, his final Pokemon here. So Magnezone is going to come out against the Altaria, and we are just going to hit that Flash Cannon. Altaria goes for the Dragon Dance, but the Flash Cannon does a nice amount of damage with that Spud F drop, so a Dazzling Gleam isn't going to do anything to Magnezone, so one more Flash Cannon is going to finish off the Altaria there. So that is Drake down. Okay, so Rushy, how did you get on against Drizzy Drake?
Yeah, usually I'm a certified lover boy, but not today. He got on my nerves. Yeah, so Kingdra was their lead. I led with Tentacruel. I go for a Supersonic, and luckily the Kingdra does hurt itself in the confusion. I then go for a Screech. The Kingdra hurts itself again in the confusion, and I'm just going to use a few Screeches here just to take down that Kingdra's defense. It does hit a Dragon Pulse, which doesn't do too much damage. I hit another Screech. They go for another dragon move, and then so it's hurting itself in its confusion here. I go for an Ice Beam, but I go for Giga Drain, which does take the Kingdra out. Salamence is in next, and now this guy gave me some trouble, that is for sure. So I led with Jump Bluff. This wasn't my first time here, as you'll probably see, so I have a bit of a strat. I get the poison off on the Salamence to begin with, and I'm basically sacrificing my Pokemon here. So I use a U-turn, switch out into my Tentacruel. He does hit a Flamethrower, but obviously the Tentacruel can tank that. The poison does some more damage, and I'm going for another Supersonic, but it doesn't land, unfortunately. I was trying to get that confusion off. So I have to come in with my Crobat. The Salamence is still poisoned. I do get the Confused Ray off, and the Salamence is confused. It does hit a Rock Slide, however, and takes the Crobat out in one hit. It's obviously got that Moxie as well, so it's raising its attack every time, which is so annoying. But yeah, luckily I've got the poison off. I go for another U-turn on the Jump Bluff because I knew the berry was coming. So the berry does pop. The Salamence goes up in its health again, so I come in with Nidoqueen. The Salamence uses a Flamethrower. So I go in for a Body Slam. However, the Nidoqueen gets taken out before that can go off. But the Rocky Helmet does do a bit of damage to the Salamence there. Arbok comes in, the poison's still going, so I'm going for a Dig just to try and survive, but the Arbok goes down as well. So Pokemon 2, and I'm down to 2 Pokemon left. It's not going well for me. Jump Bluff comes back in, the poison goes off again. I go for a Fairy Wind, and luckily that takes the Salamence out. So Flygon's in next. I go for a Poison Powder again, just to get them poison going. The Flamethrower goes off, and the Jump Bluff survives on 1 HP somehow. So I get a Fairy Wind off. It doesn't do much, but the Flamethrower then does come in and take out the Jump Bluff. So Gengar is the last Pokemon alive. I go for a Dark Pulse, which does a decent amount of damage, but the Crunch comes in on the Flygon. And does a lot of damage. So I'm thinking, what can I do here? Sucker Punch does take out the Gengar. luckily. Sorry, the Flygon, sorry. And the Gengar's trying to learn Hex, which I didn't teach it. So Steelix is in next. I go for a Hypnosis, and that does put the Steelix to sleep. I then go for a Dream Eater, which does a nice amount of damage. It's not great, but it's a nice amount and it gives me some health back. So I then go into my bag and I'm just trying to get some Pokemon back in here. As you can tell, as Luke said earlier, that through the franticness of my bag searching, I was pretty annoyed at this point. This had taken me a while. So I revive the Crobat, and then go for another revive while the Steelix is asleep, and get my I believe my Tentacruel back in again. So Tentacruel is revived again. The Crunch comes in on the Steelix, does take out the Gengar. So I come in with Tentacruel. Um, I go for an Ice Beam on the Steelix, which does some nice damage. The Crunch comes in, Tentacruel does take the Tentacruel out. So I'm down to just Crobat now. I go for a Confuse Ray on the Steelix. It does go off. The Steelix becomes confused and it uses a Crunch. The Crobat's very nearly dead, so I'm coming in, looking at my Pokemon. Obviously, they're all down, so I'm thinking, who am I going to bring back in? I go for a revive um, on my Gengar here. So Gengar has been revived. The Crunch comes in on the Crobat, takes out the Crobat there. Gengar's back in. I go in for a Hypnosis, and luckily it does land. The Steelix goes to sleep. I go in for a Dream Eater, which takes down the Steelix to just 1 HP, really. It's still asleep, so one more Dream Eater does take out the Steelix there. And then, yeah, so we're down to just the Altaria. Hypnosis, I prayed that it would land, and it did. The Altaria goes to sleep. Another Dream Eater on the Altaria here, and it does stay asleep after that. So I go for one more Dream Eater, takes the Altaria down to about a third of its health left. The last Dream Eater goes in, Altaria goes down, and that is Drizzy Drake gone. Mac, how did you get on?
Yeah, fine, mate. Cheers for asking. Yeah, so
Oh god.
yeah, not too bad at all. This one again. So obviously they lead with the Kingdra, and I lead with my Gardevoir. Hit it with a Hypnosis and send it straight to sleep. Hit it with a Draining Kiss to take advantage of that Fairy Dragon type weakness. They wake up and hit me with a Hydro Pump. One more Draining Kiss to finish it off. And that is Kingdra gone. They're coming in with Flygon next, so I swap into Starmie. Hit a Cosmic Power, and they hit me with a Crunch. One Ice Beam, and Flygon is out of the way. Salamence comes in, so I'm going to leave Starmie out. Use a Cosmic Power, get hit with another Crunch, one Ice Beam, and that takes Salamence out. They're going to bring in Steelix, so I swap out to Jesus. Hit Steelix with a Hypnosis, which misses. And they use Iron Defense, so I hit with another Hypnosis, which misses again. They go for another Iron Defense. Third time's the charm. Hypnosis sends Helix to sleep. Hit it with Mystical Fire, which leaves it one shot. They wake up and use Iron Defense. I use a Bullet Seed, which hits 3 times and does absolutely no damage after they've just been buffing their health or their defense stats up. They hit me with a Crunch, which does a good bit of damage there. Hit him with a Giga Drain, and that is Steelix gone. Last out is Altaria, so I'm going to swap to Metagross. Hit an Iron Defense. They hit a Dragon Dance. Hit them with a Metal Claw. Does a little chunk of damage to them. Another Metal Claw. They're just using Dragon Dance. They hit a Dazzling Gleam, which is not very effective. And then I hit him with one more Metal Claw, and that is the Elite Four completed. So, Spooks, if you want to take us into the champion.
Yeah. So basically, starting off with the champion, Wallace gives us a little ish before. So he comes out with a Wailord. We start with Cat Slater, and the Wailord comes out with Rain Dance, and this is the second time doing it. I realised that actually Earthquake was powerful against the Wailord. So, but it actually switches out. He switches out to the Lulicolo, dancing in that rain. I don't like Lulicolo just from Pokopia. Yeah, it's just not. I'm not a dancer myself, or am I? And so we're going with Don Morbius using that flying press. Obviously, it's hitting it. It takes us out with the surf. We're humming and hawing who to go with here. Cat Slater comes back out. Obviously, the rain with the rain dance happening, then the rain, it actually heals up Lily Coco as well through this, obviously, for the HP. We use a max revive on Don Morbius because I wasn't happy that he left already. So guess what? Max revive on Morbius. He comes back out again. We use the flying press again. Super effective. It leech seeds us. We are seeded. And flying press comes out again. Super effective on 1 HP now, the Luli Colo. But obviously the seeds are storing that health inside of him. Now, this is the Pokemon that I just thought was an absolutely a donkey's rear, and my own rear, and that was Milotic. And Milotic is one of my most hated Pokemon ever, because one, I could never catch it, and two, it was one of those ones where it was just a tank anyway. So we went into Don Rowley, tanked, tried to get the sunny day up, it used the Ice Beam for us against us. Obviously, we're going to go out to. Well, I thought we was going to go for Big Back, but Cat Slater came out instead. So we're going to hit it with a Dragon Dance on the Cat Slater. Ice Beam hits us. We're going to go, obviously we hit that Dragon Dance. We go for the Earthquake. Earthquake's doing a bit, not too much. We're tanking these Ice Beams, to be fair. Obviously, part Water type. Milotic uses Toxic on us, and it used a Citrus Berry at the same time, so we're hurt by that. We go for the Earthquake because obviously our speed has gone up. Milotic is down. We're still poisoned at this rate. Big Back's trying to learn Fissure, so it's trying to wiggle that back even more, but we don't want that, and so anyway, we scrapped that off. Tentacruel's coming out, and this is where I start saying, do I? But Cat Slater stays in. We're still poisoned. It hits us with that Hydro Pump. We go down because I just thought, oh, well. Don Dumbo comes out, and we go for the Max Revives again, and guess who we're Max Reviving? Cat Slater. Cat Slater just loves this. This is why Cat Slater is going to be the best Pokemon for my team going through this Elite Four. Don Dumbo uses the Earthquake against Tentacruel, and obviously Tentacruel goes down. Gyarados is up next, and who are we going to pick? Who are we going to pick? Twin Horn Horny is going to come out. We go straight for that Stone Edge. It uses Dragon Dance. Stone Edge hits, gets it down to the red, uses Full Restore. Stone Edge again. Guess what? Full Restore from Wallace. Stone Edge again, uses Dragon Dancing. And that's not me using the Full Restores too much in this. It's Wallace. He uses another Full Restore. So it's quite nice to see from the other end of the spectrum right now. We go for the Thunderbolt because I wasn't too sure if Stone Edge would hit. So we do a couple of those. It is down. Wish Cash is coming out. So it's Cat Slater versus who do I pick? Who do I pick? Who do I pick? Well, Cat Slater versus another Slater. So now we're seeing the battles of the Slaters right now. Wish Cash uses Hyper Beam. Cat Slater uses Ice Beam. Doesn't really do much. It's recharging. So we slap it up. We start dancing like a little dragon. We use Earthquake. Obviously, we outspeed it. We use Earthquake again, outspeed it. And for me, boys, I thought that was done. But no, the Wailord's still about. Oh, no. So, yeah, so we use Earthquake on the Wailord, and we still outspeeding it because of the Dragon Dancers. Outspeed it again with another Earthquake. And for me, boys, I can finally say that is Wallace done. So, yeah, that is the champion done for Spooks. Ace, move on.
Yeah, so getting into my battle with Wallace, it's actually my longest battle out of the group so far, so we'll get into my footage now. This is another one where it took me a few attempts. So we're going to lead with Ampharos, and they're leading with the Wailord. The Rain Dance gets put up straight away, but I'm going to hit that Discharge, and it is going to put it down to the red. So I'm going to be switching into Jolteon here, because I know what's coming, and it is the Wish Cash. So the rain is still coming down, and Jolteon is going to go for the Protect turn 1, just to get that athletic ability, +1 to the speed out. The Wish Cash goes for that Amnesia, but we're going to hit it with a Trop Kick, and that is going to be quite effective and take it out in one hit. Here comes the Gyarados, which is a really scary mon with the Intimidate ability, but we're going to switch in Ampharos here. And Ampharos is just going to be waiting around just to hit that Discharge. The Gyarados is going to hit an Earthquake, but Ampharos lives on 68 HP. So
Oh.
we are going to be switching into Jolteon here again. Out comes this Milotic, which caused me a lot of issues because I don't know if it's called Define or not, the ability, but when you reduce a stat for them, their special attack goes up. And obviously, I'm using Trop Kick because it's my only super effective move, and that reduces attack. So we're going to manage to get 2 Trop Kicks off, but that Milotic is at +4 special attack right now. So what do? We bring in the Pikachu with the Light Ball, and I just hit that Thunderbolt, and the Milotic goes down. So very nice, the Pikachu making a bit of a cameo in this battle against Wallace. He was my shot. He was actually the first Pokemon I caught after my starter, so it's good to see him come all of this way. Pause. Magnezone comes out on the Ludicolo switching, and I'm just going to go for a quick metal sound, but it does actually miss, and we have been leech seeded by the Ludicolo. So Magnezone is going to hit another metal sound to get that -2 in special defense, and Ludicolo is going to hit that Surf to take out Magnezone. So we are going to switch into Porygon Z here and hit a Tri Attack, and that is going to absolutely decimate the Ludicolo. So Tentacruel is going to be switching into here for Wallace. So I'm going to switch into Ampharos. And I know how Tentacruel moves, so I know he's going to go for a Toxic, whatever happens turn 1. So I'm going to hit a Discharge. Obviously, Tentacruel being very bulky in special defense, it's going to get it into the yellow. And a Hydro Pump does take down Ampharos. But here comes the boy again, the Pikachu. And he is going to be hitting a Thunderbolt to take out the Tentacruel. And all that's left now is Wailord with a sliver of HP. So Pikachu is going to take it out and finish off my battle against Wallace. So, Rushy,
Bash.
how did you get on, bro? Strap in by the sound of things.
Yeah, so we obviously have already had one quite long battle in this episode, and usually I would mention to Spooks about that, but I can't really say much because I have a long one here. So lock in. I say, if you didn't stop and like and subscribe earlier, do that now. Get yourself a drink, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. So I actually would just like to say I forgot to start recording. So the Whale Lord that they led with isn't in this, and I've still got a 7-minute 54-second video. So this was probably about a non-speed up a 20-minute fight. So you'll see how it goes here. So we'll get the footage up on the screen. So Whale Lord has just gone down. I've got Tentacruel in. They come in with a Gyarados. So turn 1, I go for a Supersonic. The Gyarados uses Earthquake, takes out the Tentacruel straight away. So I switch into my Gengar, and you'll see a recurring theme here. Hypnosis goes off on the Gyarados, and I go for a Dream Eater after that. So that does about half health because it hits a crit. The Gyarados does wake up and use a Dragon's Dance. I'll go for another Hypnosis, but the Surf comes in first. The Hypnosis does land, and I go for another Dream Eater here on the Gyarados, which takes him down to about, an 8th HP. But they use a full restore. All the HP comes back. Dragon's Dance comes off. I go for another Hypnosis and another Dream Eater. So the Dream Eater goes off, takes the Gyarados down again. I go for and Dark Pulse on the Gyarados here, which does a little bit more damage. I then go for another Dream Eater, and that puts the Gyarados back down to 1 HP. I bet you know what's happening here. A full restore on the Gyarados takes it back up to full HP again. I hit a Dark Pulse that turn, so it takes a little bit of HP away. Another Dragon's Dance goes off. I go for another Hypnosis and another Dream Eater on the Gyarados. So that takes him back down to a little bit of HP left again. He hits a Dragon's Dance. I go for a Dream Eater, but he'd already woken up, so it didn't land. Another Dragon's Dance from the Gyarados. I go for Hypnosis again, and I go for one more Dream Eater, which does hit, takes the Gyarados down to 1 HP. I go for a Dark Pulse, but another full restore takes the Gyarados back up to full HP again. So Dragon's Dance goes off. I go for another Hypnosis. The Gyarados falls asleep again. I hit another Dream Eater. It's just a repetition here, but yeah, the Dream Eater goes off. The Gyarados wakes up, uses Surf again. So I go for a hypnosis. The Gyarados uses Surf, takes the Gengar nearly out. Another Surf takes the Gengar to 1 HP, but the hypnosis goes off. The Gengar lives on 1 HP. Dream Eater goes in, takes the Gyarados down to 1 HP. I go for a Dark Pulse. The Gyarados is asleep. The Dark Pulse takes out the Gyarados finally, and we can move on to the Tentacruel. So Tentacruel comes in next. I switch out here into my Jumpluff. So Jumpluff comes in. Tentacruel is on the field. I go for a U-turn, I believe. No, a tail whip to take the defense down. The Tentacruel uses Toxic and poisons my Jumpluff. I go for another tail whip, and then the Ice Beam comes in, takes the Jumpluff down to 1 HP, and the poison finishes him off. So he's gone. I then switch into my Crobat. So Crobat comes in. I go for a Confuse Ray. So the Tentacruel is confused. It does hurt itself in the confusion, and because its defense has been lowered, it does do quite a bit of damage. I use a Leech Life, which takes him down to half HP. The Tentacruel uses an Ice Beam. Super effective to Crobat, but Crobat does live. Another Life Leech, and then the confusion hits the Tentacruel again. Leech Life one more time. And the Tentacruel does go down. So the next up Pokemon we have, I am bringing in my Nidoqueen here, I believe. But Milotic is in next. No, I stuck in with my Crobat, sorry. Milotic's in. I go for a Confuse Ray on the Milotic. Milotic, it becomes confused and hurts itself in the confusion. I go into my bag. I'm thinking, while it's confused, I'm going to try and get off some moves. So I go for a Revive on the Tentacruel. And then the Ice Beam comes in on the Crobat and finishes the Crobat off. So I switch in here to my Tentacruel, which is just being revived. I go for the Supersonic, and it is confused already. So I then go for a Screech. The Milotic uses Surf, but the Screech does land on the Milotic. And then the Surf comes in again and does take out the Tentacruel. So I put Arbok back in to the field here. I go for an Ice Fang on the Milotic. It does hit a crit, but doesn't do much damage. The Surf comes in, wipes Arbok out. So I come in with Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen comes in. I try to use a chip away, but the Ice Beam hits first and does take out the Nidoqueen. So I'm down to just Gengar here. So I come in with a Gengar, hit a Hypnosis, puts the Milotic asleep. And then I go for a Dream Eater on the Milotic, which does a little bit of damage, but the berry pops on the Milotic and gives it back some health, but it does stay asleep. So while it's asleep, I'm going to use some revives here. So I revive my Crobat first. Milotic does stay asleep, so I go for another revive. I get Tentacruel back in too. Milotic does wake up and use an Ice Beam, which does take out Gengar here. So I go back in with Tentacruel back on the field. I go for a Supersonic. The Ice Beam comes in on Tentacruel, but doesn't do too much. The Supersonic does hit and confuses the Milotic. So I come back into my bag, revive here, going for a revive on the Gengar, I believe. Yep, Gengar's back in as well. Milotic is confused and hurts itself in the confusion. So I go for another revive here. And I get my Arbok back, I believe. So Arbok has been brought back as well. Ice Beam comes in again on the Tentacruel and does take Tentacruel out. So I come back in with Gengar, go for the Hypnosis. It misses, and the Ice Beam comes in from Milotic and does take out Gengar. So I come back in with Crobat, hit a Confuse Ray again on the Milotic, and they go for an Ice Beam, but it misses. I go for a Leech Life on the Milotic to try and get some HP back from my Crobat. It hurts itself in the confusion again. I go for one more Leech Life, and it does take out Milotic. So Milotic is down. They are then coming in now with Whiscash. So Whiscash is in. I go for a Confuse Ray on the Whiscash, which hits and it becomes confused. The Surf comes in and hits a crit on my Crobat. So Crobat's nearly gone, but because it survived, I'm going to revive my Gengar again. So Gengar's back in. The Whiscash hits another Surf and takes out Crobat. Gengar is now on the field again. Go for a Hypnosis, which does land on the Whiscash. Then Dark Pulse on the Whiscash here, which does a decent amount of damage. It does snap out of its confusion, but it then goes for an Amnesia. So I go for another Hypnosis here. And so another Dark Pulse from me takes the Whiscash down to about half health. It stays asleep, so I go for one more Dark Pulse. It does wake up and use Amnesia again, but it's not got much HP left, so I go to put it asleep again. So Hypnosis does land. I go for a Dream. No, I thought I went for Dream Eater there. I didn't. I went for a Sucker Punch, but it failed, and then I did it again, and it failed again. So I go for one more Sucker Punch, and it does land that time. The Surf comes in. Another Sucker Punch does take out Whiscash, and we're nearly there. Ludicolo's in. Last Pokemon here. Gengar's on about 1 HP here, so I go for a Hypnosis. It falls asleep. Go for a Dream Eater on the Ludicolo. It does a decent amount of damage, more than I was expecting, but it does hit a Giga Drain on the Gengar. So I go for a Hypnosis again. It does put the Ludicolo back to sleep. I go for a Dark Pulse on the Ludicolo, which takes it down to just below half HP. I go for a Sucker Punch, which puts it almost there. It's still asleep. Another Dark Pulse takes out Ludicolo. Now a Hoenn champion. That felt like a champion battle. That was difficult. But yeah, that is my Wallace beaten. Mac, let's take it over to you to finish out Emerald Seaglass.
Yeah, I think it's just as well my dog there had an awakening potion, because I think I was hit with Hypnosis. Sorry, Rushy.
It's okay. It's okay. It's your spin wheel that made me do it.
Right,
but you're the reason it's
Just blame that Don, isn't it?
I may have to hold some fire of my own here, because I've made a mistake, gentlemen.
Oh.
It did not make a blind bit of difference, I'll be completely honest.
Oh, what's he done?
I didn't use a non-damaging first move on the Whale Lord.
Go on, give him the absolute shit that you gave me.
You've still got a Pokemon on your team from last episode.
Yeah, exactly.
How?
You had to switch your whole team, and one member from your team is still on your team.
Cool. How is Rhydon and Rhyperior the same Pokemon?
No,
How
it's
are
your
they the
team.
same Pokemon?
It's your team.
No. Yeah, but he wasn't on my team, so how is he the same mon, bro? How is he the same mon? I don't get this.
He was on your team.
Bro, you lot can't read, bro. Yeah, he was on my team, yeah? But technically, he wasn't a Rhyperior. So how was... The Rhyperior wasn't on my team, bro. You, man, if you don't like loopholes, don't make them. Don't make them.
Anyway, I'm willing to take a sacrifice going into the next game
after.
here. But
yeah.
Long story short, I don't think a lot would have changed. I'd have hit him with a Hypnosis, hit him with a Giga Drain, which one-shot him.
Right.
Then the Tentacruel comes in, so I send out Gardevoir for that. And do remember this time, to use a non-damaging first move. So I hit it with a Hypnosis, and it hits me with a Toxic first. The Hypnosis sends it to sleep. I hit it with a Confusion. It then wakes up from his sleep straight away and smacks me with a Sludge Bomb, which one-shots me. So I bring in Metagross, go for an Iron Defense, hit it with a Zen Headbutt, which takes the Tentacruel out. They then bring in their Milotic, so I swap back out to Jesus is back again. Easter Sunday is in full effect here. Hits me with an Ice Beam, which does a good chunk of my health there. I go back in with the Hypnosis on it. Hit a Giga Drain, which gets it down to about half health. It eats its Citrus Berry, so it wakes up, uses another Ice Beam on me. I hit it with a Giga Drain in hopes that I'll have enough health there to sort of tank another Ice Beam off of it, which it doesn't go for. It goes for the Toxic, poisons me just before we get rid of it with one final Giga Drain. They then bring in their Gyarados, and I keep Jesus out. The poison's just doing some tick damage in the background. I go for Hypnosis, which misses. And Gyarados is just doing that dance, baby, doing that dance. Hypnosis misses again, and the poison is just slowly ticking away at me here. And the poison finally gets it to sleep. The Hypnosis finally sends them to sleep. I'm down to 10 HP here, so I'm digging around in that bag and use my one and only full restore that I've got on me. To get rid of that poison and get all the health back. I then hit it with a Bullet Seed, but not before Gyarados can wake up, which doesn't do a whole lot of damage to it. I'm looking around in my bag for something here. getting a bit worried, so I use a revive here on Gardevoir just in case things go south. Gyarados is still just dragon dancing away in the background. I hit it with another Hypnosis to send it to sleep. Hit it with a Giga Drain, which gets it to one shot. One last Giga Drain, and that was Gyarados gone. Then the Ludico comes in, so I bring back in Zatu for his final hurrah. They use a Leech Seed and I use Reflect. Come in with an Air Slash, gets it down to about 30% of his health. They hit me with a Surf, which nearly takes me out, but he's got enough left in him for one last Air Slash on his victory lap there. Jesus comes back in to take on Wishcash, hits it with a Bullet Seed, 2 hits, and it is gone, and that is the champion defeated.
There we go.
Ooh, done it, boys. We have
Round of
done
applause
it
for all
one
the
way
boys.
or another.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
hustle out of everybody there.
Season 2 is officially done, isn't it? Season 2 with the Mandem, isn't it?
Who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? I'm just gonna bring us back to this the little argument we had before there. We've all had one incident this season. I reckon we wipe it there, wipe the slate clean from next season. Any breaches in anything we're doing, it's an extra spin wheel. I think we should all agree on that now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. Any
I'm
breach,
happy about
it's an
that.
extra spin wheel.
Yeah, calm, innit?
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Calm, innit? You might see a new face on the. You know what? I'm not holding corn, innit? This time, next series, you're gonna see a new person on the podcast called Corn, and he can hold it, and he can hold it, and yeah, that's Corn. You might meet Corn one day, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know, innit? We don't
I highly
know.
doubt it. But you might.
Definitely not. No, definitely not. And if you do see him, then make sure to remind him that man has only had one beer, innit?
We're gonna
Shout
start
out,
calling
Corn.
him Corn, the non-drinker, innit? The non-alcoholic.
Oh God! All right, okay, guys. So
Oh.
that is
Okay,
that
let's
is
go.
Emerald Seaglass. We're all the champion now. Like I said before, we all got there one way or another. Wow, what a series it's been! It's been really cool to have everybody doing these monotype runs, and obviously, it's been great to have Mac here for his first series. I think we should give Mac a round of
Facts.
applause,
Yeah.
boys, for beating his first series.
Thank you, gents.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you on, Mac, and we can't wait to get into the next game. All four of us, boys. Should I announce what we are playing next?
Yeah.
You might as
Let's do
well.
it.
So our next series is going to be the beloved Pokemon Glazed, which is one of the first sort of big ROM hacks ever to surface in the community. Specifically, we're going to be playing the Blaze Glaze version, which is an updated version, because I believe Glaze was made really, really early on into this whole scene. But yeah, so we're going to be playing Glaze. We're going to be bringing the spin wheels back, I believe, but we are doing no mono runs or anything like that. We are going to do our own sort of raw playthrough when it comes to the team building. It's really cool. There's 5 different starters in Glaze that you can choose from. But yeah, that's going to be our next series. Everything's already made for it, so we are literally good to go. We've just obviously actually got to play it. But boys, should we close off Emerald Seaglass for once and for all? Has anybody got anything else to say, or should I jump us into the closing remarks?
No, go into it.
So yeah, well, I mean, I've already started closing it, really, and but but yeah, just one thing, just a couple things from me. It's been an absolute pleasure to do another series with the boys. I can't believe we have come to the end of our second series already and moving into the third. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like Lazarus was yesterday, but it also feels like it was years ago. It's a strange feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, credit to and shout out to Nemo622, who is the creator of both of the games that we have played so far on the Hive podcast.
Shout out to them.
It's been shout out to them. It's been an absolute pleasure experiencing the games that they've made, and we can't wait to get into Alolan Seaglass when it comes out. But yeah, for me, please guys like, subscribe, interact with the socials. We've got an episode. We're actually recording this literally only a few days after recording episode 4. I've got everything here, so I'm going to try to get this edited tonight. I'm not sure when it will be out. We'll have to discuss that because obviously we want to get into Glazed ASAP. But yeah, please like, subscribe. Thank you for watching and interacting with us. Rushy, do you want to close off yourself, bro?
Yeah, so it feels weird that we're doing a final episode of the series. Again, I say it feels like we did the final episode of Lazarus only last weekend, but we're here, we've made it. As you say, some easier than others, but we've all come through the other side. We're all champions of the Herne region again. Yeah, thank you guys again for listening and joining us on this journey, and thank you to my co-hosts again. Yet again, it's been brilliant. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been great to have Mac as the fourth man of the team. It feels like this was built for 4 people, I think. So he's kind of filled that spot perfectly. But yeah, thank you again to everybody. I'll hand it over to Mac to do his closing remarks, but we will see you in a new region in the next episode.
Yeah, so it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for all the love there from the boys. It's reciprocated to all of you as well. It's been great. Thoroughly enjoyed. Something new for me as well. I know a lot of you boys said several times that you've played Emerald before, but that was a first for me and probably a way more enjoyable experience than going back and playing the original game without speed up and all the quality of life changes that we got to use there. So I'll close it out for myself for the last time of this season with thank you for watching wherever that may be, in the car, in the van, in the bath, in the front room. Keep watching, keep listening, keep showing love and support, and Spooks, take it away.
Yeah, so just closing off for me, it's it's another season, another series, another journey that is came to the end for the Mandem. Basically, obviously, I've got to thank the boys for everyone sticking together and doing this and having the passion that from the first episode all the way into the last one. That is one thing that you will notice about us boys. We might seem like we argue, have little bickers with each other. People might take it serious. The banter might be a bit sus or something. Do you know what I mean? But it's one of those ones that keep. I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna have to say pause. It keeps the people coming in and listening. So pause. And yeah, so all I can say is, Mac, thanks for being on and continuing this journey with us. Obviously, we will see all of us back here. There is going to be a few times throughout the years where you might see one of us might not be on the journey, or one of us might, we might have more people. We just don't know. But shout out to Nemo, shout out to them, shout out to Miss and No as well. Hopefully, we'll get to see him a bit more. You never know, innit? And the only thing I did want to say is to the person who put in the comments about a bath session, that will be solo run by Rushy, and so we will have to sort that out. You might see
I'm recording
that.
it after this. Fast running right now.
Yeah, so lock into the live stream of the bath session. Anyway, saying that, my final way of saying this on Seaglass is that please go watch us on YouTube. Listen to us on Spotify. If you don't have them, ask your mum, ask your sister, ask your dad, ask your brother. And if you don't have any of those people in your lives, you come and shout us, and we will find a way of making you watch this. Not physically, but we will mentally make you watch this, because you don't want to miss out on this. Anyway, sayonara. Take care, people. Au revoir.